Hi, and welcome to another pelvic floor yoga class. If you are using one of my playlists, get ready to hit play. I just want to let you know that I am Vinyasa based, so it's still a very flowy breath to movement yoga class, but feel free to go at your own pace. Remember that I am just your guide. The chaturanga flows are always an option, and you can take child's pose whenever you need it. So with that being said, let's get started right away. We'll begin on our backs. You can hit play on my playlist now. You can come to your mat. And we'll begin on our backs with our feet stamped down on the mat, a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. And then we'll just let the knees fall in towards one another. You can let your hands relax by your side, palms up or down, or you can take both hands to your belly so that you can feel your breath rise and fall into your palms. Breath work is so important, not only in every yoga practice, but especially when we are engaging and activating our pelvic floor. It is that mind-body connection that uses our breath, both inhales and exhales, to properly execute that squeeze and lift of your pelvic floor. So let's just breathe here. Start to notice your breath. Bring it in through your nose. Let's do one open mouth exhale. Just let everything go. Feel your body relax and soften. Relax your face muscles. Release any tension or grip you're holding around your eyes. Then take another big breath in through your nose. This time at the top of your breath, seal up your lips and breathe out through your nose. Tap into your Ujjayi breath. Find that gentle constriction or hug in the back of your throat. Try that again, in and out through your nose. Should sound like oceanic waves. And then I just want you to notice where your spine is as you continue to breathe on your mat. You can do a couple pelvic tilts forward and back here. Then I want you to make sure that your entire spine is connected down into your mats. So really press your low back down, tilt your pelvis so that your entire spine is connected. And then we'll take another big smooth breath in, feeling relaxed here. And then as we exhale, when you're ready, execute that squeeze and lift, also known as a Kegel. And then at the end of your exhale, relax, release that activation. Breathe in again. And breathe out with some pelvic floor engagement if you can. And it might not feel like much, but the more you practice, the better you become at that squeeze and lift of your pelvic floor muscle. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. And try and hold that lift of your pelvic floor until the end of your breath and then relax. So let's bring our feet in hip width distance apart. Then we'll just start to windshield wiper our knees over to the right. Take a few breaths here. Again, at any point during your practice, if you want to try a Kegel or that squeeze and lift of your pelvic floor, by all means, please go ahead and do so. I will prompt you in certain poses, but if you remember and want to try it out, I encourage you to try it in any pose that we are in today. And then as you breathe in, bring your knees up towards center, and then exhale as you drop them over to the left. You can try activating your pelvic floor in this gentle twist here. On your exhales, and just notice how this slight change in our body position really affects how you feel your pelvic floor in your body. So some poses you might feel like you can squeeze and lift a lot better than in other poses, and that's totally normal. So on your next inhale, let it pull your knees back up towards the ceiling, and then we'll just hug in both knees in towards our heart space. We'll take a few rocks from side to side. And then you can draw the knees apart here. And then we'll start to take a few rock and rolls forward and back, up and down the spine, about 3 to 5 times, or however long it takes you to get up to a seat. We're not in a rush. Activate and awaken the spine here. And once you come to your seat, we'll roll over our knees right away and come into a tabletop position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We'll take a few rounds of cow and cat. So on your inhale, I want you to sink your belly down as you thread your heart through your shoulders and lift the gaze. And then as you exhale, round and curl for cat. So spine or navel into spine, chin into chest. Really press the mat away from you. Inhale, drop your belly down, lift your gaze. And throughout this cow and cat pose, let's try not to activate the pelvic floor here. In this position, in this cow pose, I really want you to think of lifting your tailbone, shooting it up towards your ceiling. This allows you to create more space in your pelvic floor and sort of separate those sits bones. So just feeling totally relaxed. Let your belly sink down, let your back sink. And then as you exhale, I want that tuck of the spine. So don't really think of activating anything here other than really tucking in, pressing the mat away, creating space between you and the mat. And then inhale, drop the belly, shoot your tailbone up. Exhale, round and curl. One more time like that. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale brings you back to a neutral spine. And we'll just take some circles here with our body and our wrists. And then we'll switch up the direction of the circles. And then we'll bring our big toes to touch behind us. Draw your knees wide and then start to sink your hips back. And we'll walk our hands forward, find our child's pose balasana. So you can rest your forehead, connect it down to the mat. And when we're here, let's try and do an active child's pose. So really press and sink your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward to the top of your mat so that your elbows are lifted. Feel a nice stretch in your side body, your shoulders, your arms. Feel the length. And then just breathe. Use that ujjayi breath that we started with in our practice. Send your breath to any areas of tension you may be feeling right now, probably in your hips. That really helps to send your breath there. Help your body relax and soften and melt into this pose. A few more deep breaths here. Just relaxing, no activation here. On your next inhale, pull yourself up back to a tabletop. And then we'll tuck our toes under, send our hips high for downward facing dog. So you can walk out your dog here, bend into one knee and then the other. So create this inverted V shape with your body. Press equal weight into both hands. And again, we're really trying to press our tailbone up towards the ceiling. Separate our sits bones. Really stretch out our pelvic floor here. Heart is actively pressing back towards our thighs. Slight tuck of the chin here to allow the crown of the head and your neck just to relax and soften. On your next inhale, take your gaze forward to the top of your mat. And then as you exhale, walk yourself forward to meet your hands. Big toes are touching, slight gap of light in between the heels. Weight is in the balls of the feet here. As you inhale, lift up halfway, hands slide up the shins, shoulders roll up, back and down the spine. And it's almost like the crown of your head and tailbone are playing tug of war. So your gaze is down, neck is long. Core is engaged. And take another big breath in. And then a smooth breath out as you fold back into yourself. And let's heel toe our feet to the wide edges of our mat. Take a little bend or a generous bend in your knees as you find your ragdoll. So you can grab for opposite elbows, sway from side to side, forward and back. And then we'll interlace our grip behind our low back and then spill our knuckles overhead. Find a nice shoulder stretch. You can shake your head yes, shake your head no. And then we'll release the grip to walk our feet back in so that our big toes come to touch. And then with a generous bend in your knees and a big inhale, slowly come to equal standing Samastihiti. Stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Neck and head are the last thing to arrive. And when they do, arms reach up overhead, mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. So feel that grounding sensation in all four corners of your feet as you pull your hands towards your heart space. Feel strong in your legs, in your core. Slight tuck of the tailbone here to find length in your spine. And then on your next breath in, arms reach up overhead. And then as you exhale, we'll sink down and back with our hips into our chair pose, Utkatasana. So spill your weight into your heels. You can even lift all 10 toes off of your mat. Take a look down, make sure you can see all 10 toes. Knees are together. And then we'll bring our hands towards our heart center, hands meet in prayer here. So as we exhale into this chair pose, that is when we'll activate our pelvic floor. So that squeeze and lift. So when we inhale, we'll come back up to mountain pose, straighten both legs, arms reach overhead. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, hands come up to prayer and squeeze and lift of the pelvic floor. Release, inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, chair pose with pelvic floor engagement. Relax and release as you inhale into mountain. So our last time, exhale, chair pose with the squeeze and lift of our entire pelvic floor muscle. Breathe in for mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can come through heart center or you can swan dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Let's reset your spine. Exhale, fold. Palms meet the earth. Step yourself back. Find a tall plank. And then option to take your chaturanga flow from your toes, or you can soften both knees down to the mat. I'm going to do or go this route since I have baby growing in my belly. So when I do go to my knees, I'll walk my hands one palm print forward. Inhale, dip my hips forward. So I'm in this modified plank position. And then as I exhale, I'll lower halfway, chaturanga, elbows squeeze into rib cage. And then as I breathe in, I'll push back up into my upward facing dog or baby cobra if you went down all the way to your belly. And then exhale, tuck your toes, Send your hips high, downward facing dog. So we'll do that one more time. A little bit quicker, breath to movement. When you're ready, inhale, gaze ahead. Exhale, walk yourself forward to the top of your mat. Breathe in as you halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, release. Standing forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose Tadasana, root to rise, arms reach overhead. Exhale, chair pose, Uttanasana, hands come to prayer, and find that Kegel. Squeeze and lift, and then relax. Breathe in 2 more times. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale into your chair and relax. Breathe in last time, mountain pose. Exhale for chair. Squeeze and lift. Breathing nice and smooth. Inhale. Back up for mountain. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down. Hands meet the earth. Step yourself back, high plank, top of a push-up. If you want to move from your toes, inhale. Shift forward, prepare. Exhale, lower halfway. Chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. So those chaturanga flows are always an option. You can always skip them and go right into downward facing dog, or take child's pose whenever you need to. Moving into our sun B, breathe in, right leg kicks high, 3-legged dog. So equal weight in both hands. Point your right toes down. So this helps you level off your hips. So both hips are facing your mat. Take another breath in. Try to elevate your heel a little bit closer towards the ceiling. Exhale, step your right foot through, low lunge. So let's take a moment here to settle into our hips. Maybe take a few rocks forward and back. And then on your inhale, we will spin or spiral ourselves, our edges of our both feet to the wide edges of our mat. Breathe in here as our spine is long, and then when you exhale, standing forward fold. So really fold down, crown of the head reaches towards your mat. It's okay if it doesn't touch. And we'll just hang out here for a few breaths. You can wrap your peace fingers around your big toes and pull yourself closer to the mat. You can also use your hands and walk them back. So here we're just breathing and relaxing, stretching our pelvic floor, our sits bones, the back of our legs, breathing into that space. Remembering that the inhales are just as important as the exhales. When we're talking about pelvic floor, I know we do the Kegel, the squeeze and lift on an exhale, but the big breath in is just as important. And then let's take a breath in, halfway lift. So lift your upper body halfway, and then exhale, fold back down. And then with a big breath in, we'll slowly come to stand. So stacking vertebrae on vertebrae. As you breathe in, arms reach up overhead. Palms can come to touch in prayer. And then as we exhale, we'll point our right toes to the top of our mat. Bend into our right knee, coming into warrior two. So right knee over right ankle, right heel is in line with the back arch, shoulders over hips. And let's take our gaze over our right fingertips. So when we're in warrior two, we can think about this pelvic tilt that we talked about at the beginning of practice. Make sure our core isn't spilling out. You can think of your pelvis as like a fish bowl. So we don't want the water to spill out. So we want to tuck it in, hug in our core, knit in our rib cage. And this is a very active pose. So when we exhale into it, I want you to try a Kegel as we do that. So take a nice big breath in. And then as you exhale, sink a little lower into your lunge. Find that squeeze and lift of your pelvic floor. And then let it go. Inhale, shift your torso over to the right. Exhale into extended side angle. So left fingertips reach towards the sky. Option to reach down towards your mat or a block, or you can keep your elbow on your right thigh. One more breath here. And then with a big breath in, we'll reverse the warrior. So maintain the lunge in your right leg as you sweep your right fingertips up and over. The left hand slides down your left leg, little to no weight in that left hand. Our core is still pulled in. Nice, smooth breath in here. And then as you exhale, cartwheel your hands down towards the mat. Frame out your right foot and then step it back. Find your tall plank. Take a chaturanga flow or skip it. You can meet me in downward facing dog. So moving this chaturanga flow with your own breath. And then we'll take that on the left side. Inhale, left leg kicks high. Three-legged dog. So again, equal weight in both hands, pressing evenly into the L shape of your palms. Left toes flex down, hips are square. Breathe in, hike your left heel up an inch or two higher. Exhale, step your left foot through low lunge. A few breaths here, settle into your hips. Again, you can take some rocks forward and back. And then as you inhale, let's spin to the side of our mat so that the edges of our feet are parallel to the top and the back of the mat. Take another inhale here. And then as you exhale, fold, standing forward fold. Again, a few breaths here just to find length in the backs of our legs. Release any tension in our pelvic floor. Allowing our hands just to fall wherever is comfortable on the mat, or if you want to find that yogi toe grip, go for it. Slight tuck of your chin here to allow the crown of the head to even reach further towards the earth. Relax your jaw. You can even close your eyes if you feel stable enough to do so. And then with an inhale, let's lift up halfway. And exhale, fold once more. And inhale, slowly come to stand. Reach arms overhead. And then as you exhale, let's point our toes, left toes to the top of our mat. Find your warrior two. So take a moment to surf it out, check your alignment, make sure your left heel is in line with your right arch. Drift your shoulders over your hips and make sure your pelvis is tucked in so that we're not spilling our core out. And then let's take a relaxing breath in here. Soften your shoulders down your spine. And then as you exhale, find your squeeze and lift of your pelvic floor. Good. Inhale, shift your torso over to the left. Exhale into extended side angle. So again, reach your right fingertips up towards the sky. Left elbow can relax on your left knee, or you can reach it down towards the mat or a block. We're not here long. On your next inhale, let's paint the sky with our left fingertips as we reverse our warrior. So keep the lunge in your left leg. Again, core is tucked in. Breathe in through your left hip pocket, up your left side body, out your left fingertips. And breathe out, cartwheel your hands down, frame up your left foot, and then step it back. High plank. Chaturanga flow, always an option, yogi's choice, from your toes or your knees, or you can skip it. Move with your own breath. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Very nice. Take one big inhale here. And then open mouth, exhale, release some heat. We'll take that sun bee breath to movement now. So moving quicker again, generating heat in the body. And then when you can, activate your pelvic floor on those exhales. When you're ready, inhale, right leg lifts high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot through, low lunge. Inhale, spin your edges of your feet to the wide edges of your mat. Exhale, standing forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, release and fold. Big breath in, slowly come to stand, stacking your spine. Arms reach up overhead, and then exhale, right toes point forward, warrior two. Inhale, shift your torso to the right. Exhale, into extended side angle. Big inhales, reverse your warrior, maintain your lunge in the right knee. Exhale, hands meet the earth, step yourself back, optional flow. Meet me in downward facing dog. However you get there is absolutely perfect. Moving that again on our left side. Inhale, left leg reaches high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, spiral at the wide edges of your feet to the top and backs of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Lengthen your spine, gaze is down, neck is long. Exhale, release. Inhale, slowly come to stand. Arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, warrior two, left toes point towards the top of your mat. Inhale, shift your torso over to the left. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, frame out your left foot, step it back, and then take your optional chaturanga flow. You know where to meet me. Downward facing dog. Take another breath in here. Open mouth, exhale. Then we'll soften both knees down to the mat. Sit off onto one hip. And we'll swing both legs out long in front of us. So let's flex our toes up towards the ceiling. Spiral your inner thighs towards one another. And then really press your pelvic floor into your mat. Take a breath in. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's try that activation. Squeeze and lift, and then let go. Take another big breath in. Arms reach up overhead, and this time let's fold over ourselves. Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold. So grab for feet, ankles, calf, whatever is accessible in your body. Let your spine arc like a rainbow here. You can keep a bend in your knees. You can use a block under your chest. Couple more rounds of your breath in and out through your nose. On your inhale, slowly stack your spine to come up to a seat. Bend into both knees, scooch our hips forward, and then we'll meet back onto our backs, just like how we began our practice. So let's hug both knees in towards our heart space, and then we'll draw the knees apart from one another. You can hang out here. Feels good to rock from side to side, or you can stamp the ceiling with the soles of your feet and take blissful baby Ananda Balasana. So you can grab for the outer edges of both feet or use that yogi toe grip with your peace fingers wrapped around your big toes. So in this blissful baby, just breathing and relaxing here is the key to resting and stretching your pelvic floor. You don't want any activation here. A slight tuck of your chin to find length in your neck is good here. Press your tailbone down towards the earth. Really connect your entire spine into the mat. You can find stillness, or you can rock from side to side. You can straighten into one leg. If that feels good. And then straighten into the other. And then we'll release out of this pose. We'll hug both knees in with a big breath in. Give yourself a hug. Bring your forehead up towards your knees. And then as you exhale, release into your Shavasana, your final resting pose. So taking up as much space as you'd like on your mat. Palms can face up to receive energy, or they can face down if you want to feel more grounded. Or you can place both hands on your belly. Again, just like how we began practice, feeling our breath rise and fall. Let go of your Ujjayi breath. Let it flow naturally through your body now. Let go of any tension in your face muscles. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your brows. Soften your shoulders closer to the earth. Just feel the weight of your body pressing into your mat. And with every gentle and not forceful exhale, allow your body to feel heavier and heavier and heavier. Rest here for a few more cycles of your breath. Trust that I will return for you when it's time to be guided out. If you want to be guided out, you can begin your exit from Shavasana with a big breath in. Open mouth exhale. If you want some more time here, feel free to end your practice exactly as you are. Or you can start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Rock your head gently from one side to the other. Maybe open and close your jaw. Maybe rolling your eyes underneath your eyelids. Find some color. And then with a big inhale, as you stretch your arms up overhead, feel the energy from your fingertips move all the way throughout your body and out through your heels. And then as you exhale, relax and let go as you release. Roll off onto your favorite side, left or right. Pause here for a few intentional breaths in this fetal position. I always like to give myself gratitude for everything my body and mind just did on the mat. And then using your strength, press back up to an easy seat, Sukhasana. Wrap one leg in front of the other. You can keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft. With a big breath in, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center at prayer. Before we bow to show ourselves and each other gratitude, I thank you for showing up and taking the time, this time, for yourself and for your pelvic floor health. Thank you for flowing with me. The light, the love, and the wonder in me so much enjoys the light, the love, and wonder in each and every one of you. Let your mind be fierce, your heart be kind, and soul at peace. Namaste.